Good morning, YouTube. What's going on? It's Mesa, back at it with some Destiny 2. Alright, in this video, I'm going to cover for each encounter within the raid, the weapons that I like to use and that I think are the best or my favorites, alright? Look, everyone's going to have their own, and that's why I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. I'm sure Cold Heart is on that list. It's not on my list. But in this video, we're going to go through every encounter, and I'm going to show you what I use for each encounter. Now, I also like to mix and match. You know, that's one of the things I like about the new kinetic, power, energy system is that I'm not glued down to what I was used to in Destiny 1. I mix and match, okay? You're going to see me change up. In each encounter, you're going to see me, I'm going to give you a couple of solutions for those encounters on what you might want to use. But before we get into it, serious question, guys. Do you want me to make raid guides? And you know what? I don't even want to make raid guides. I want to make just one guide of each encounter on how I like to do it or the teams that I've been running with. So I've got 3 teams. I got my usual squad that you're probably familiar with on stream. I've been running with Blessius, and I also have been raiding with my clan, Resolute. And we all pretty much have kind of a similar strategy, I would say. But let me know if you want me to do one full guide on each encounter. I know everyone has done guides out there, but I kind of pride myself on explaining things a little bit more for the average folks, kind of like a raid guide for dummies. I'm not in it for, okay, here's how you one phase Calais. Here's how you do dogs in one phase. Relax, all right? If you're new to the raid, just get it done. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to say the safer way, the way that you're going to get it done and you're going to have fun, all right? Not everything has to be done one phased. Now, with that rant out of the way, I'm sorry about that, guys. All right, let's talk about the baths. So, 2 basic setups that I like to use for the bath. What you're seeing here right now is I use Merciless for my power, which hopefully you bought from Xur. I go with the Scout for my kinetic, and then I go with an auto rifle for my energy weapon here. Now, you're going to see me using the Trials energy weapon, the Trials auto rifle for my energy weapon. If you don't have it, use Uriel's gift or something. Just use some sort of auto rifle. For me, I find that very effective because I'm using Merciless to take down the big old yellow bars. I'm using the Scout rifle for things that are far away, and when we get to the middle to do damage. But then also the auto rifle comes in handy for those annoying scions who make it up close. Now, another setup I like to use, if you don't have Merciless, which is the exotic fusion rifle, or if you don't have a good Scout rifle, go double auto rifles and go with a rocket launcher. Those big yellow bar bathers, right, they're going to be up close. It's kind of hard to miss them, even though I always like tracking on all my rockets. They're going to be up close. You could pretty much waste them with a rocket. Just be careful you don't tube yourself. Now, another great option is the Hawthorne's Field Forged Shotgun. Best shotgun in the game. The only reason why I'm not using it is because I get a little nervous when I have to step out because, all right, the bathers are going to come out and they're going to rush where you're standing when you're on those plates there, right? So I don't want to step off there, and I feel like if I use the shotgun, I don't want to wait for them to come close to me. And yes, it does have some range, and I'm sure you'll let me know in the comment section that you waste the bathers right from there. But for me, I'd rather go with Merciless, but Hawthorne's is a great alternative. That thing, well, that's what I was using for the longest until I got Merciless. Another reason why I like auto rifles so much, and Merciless, of course, is when you're going to do DPS in the middle part. Well, first off, Merciless is going to do a lot of damage. You're going to see some clips right here. Especially when you have an Empowering Rift down, forget it. Look, it's going to do so much damage. I also like the 2 running double auto rifles because when I run out of power, I could just keep swapping between my auto rifles and just do a lot of damage. But you can go with Scout Rifle or auto rifle. So the gist of this one here, and here we just one phase this thing, it's pretty easy, is use some sort of rocket launcher, Hawthorne's Field Forged Shotgun, Merciless for your power, and then when it comes to your kinetic and your power, go with the Scout and auto or go double auto rifles. That's my recommendation. But also, it's worth noting, I was using Mida multi-tool when we were first doing the raid, just because I like the speed, it did some pretty good damage, and it got me to the middle to regain my power, get to the next plate, and so forth. Next up, let's talk about Pleasure Gardens, right? So, we like to two-phase him if you're an MLG pro, and you get 8 million stacks. Yeah, you one-phased them. Bravo to you. This video is more for people who haven't done the raid before or are gearing up to do the raid and find a fire team, right? So, I'm going to give you a couple options here. Now, in this clip, obviously I'm using Merciless again. I put down a Empowering Rift. I waste my Merciless ammo on them, and then I switch to something like an auto rifle. Don't bring Scout rifles in here. I would definitely go double auto rifles. But what's also really good is any sword. Pretty much, well, I have the raid sword, right? But every sword I've seen so far that's dropped for me has had the same perks in them where it says consecutive rapid sword strikes increases the weapon's damage output. But you gotta be a little bit careful because when you're doing damage to the dogs, you also have a bunch of the little non-yellow bar dogs swiping at you. See, the reason why we do it in 2 phases is because it's safer. I'll be frank with you guys. We've had too many times where it's risky and one person gets spotted or someone up top gets spotted. You know, the MLG pros, they don't get spotted. We get spotted sometimes. So what we do is we take each dog down to pretty much no health or as low as we can get it, and then we waste that dog. So you want to save your super for that final dog that you're going to kill. I keep going in and out of my New York accent, dog or dog. You're going to save your super, but also either go with sword, but also remember that field forged, God, I can't say it, Hawthorne's field forged shotgun, also very, very good. But just it burns through ammo so quickly. So when you're laying into the dog, you want to jump up in the air to do your reload and then come back down and do some serious DPS. But you want to have at least 3 of the flowers pollinated before you try to do damage. But we've had cases where, you know, the first run we got maybe 2 pollinated, did enough damage, and then we came back and we still got them the 3rd phase. So I find that the higher light you get, you know, because we're all about like the 304s, 305s in terms of light. The dogs go down pretty quickly, even with just maybe 2 stacks or 3 stacks, and you're about 304, 305 light. They're gonna die really quickly. All right, so onto the Gauntlet. So the Gauntlet is all about wasting adds before each phase, and then making sure that you're taking out your target so that the runners can make it through the little circles in the middle. So I have a couple of combinations that work well for me, and they're pretty similar to the other setups, right? So sometimes I go with a scout rifle and an auto rifle, but actually today I was having better luck doing double auto rifles. See, the scions are really annoying, and a lot of times if I don't clear all my adds before the big boy comes out, that little scion loves to hide behind the corner, and I don't know, I like having double auto rifles. It wastes these big boys here, it wastes these scions, and also when the big guy comes out, I know, they're all big, aren't they? Cabal are just big dudes. Auto rifles, double auto rifles works for me, but you can also go with a scout rifle or auto rifle. So for the big yellow bar, you can go with sword, but also go with Merciless too, or Hawthorne's Field Forged Shotgun. So same 3 things. Merciless, you got Hawthorne's, and you also have swords. But just make sure, and I'm pretty sure I haven't seen a sword that didn't have those same perks. The consecutive rapid sword strikes increase the weapon's damage output. And as for shooting the targets, go with auto rifle or scout rifle. Either one of them works, whether you're getting the one that's right on your pillar. If you want me to do a guide, I'm going to do a guide, and we all stay on one pillar, and then we shoot across to the other person's pillar based on the call-out. So both auto rifles and scout rifles work just fine. Auto rifles just takes a few more shots, but as long as you just get like 2 or 3 in there, you got it. But scout rifles, a little bit easier to hit, but I don't know. Today, it's not in this clip here. I was running double auto rifles and just having an easier time with the adds, especially those stupid scions. I don't know why they just annoy me so much, because if I miss one and then they start hiding behind one of the things, I'm getting up on my pillar, and then I'm too afraid to jump down to get that scion. I'm going to miss him with my scout rifle. That's just me. Mesa fail. Now, for the Calais Emperor fight, I only go with one setup and one setup only. And of course, let me know in the comment section. I know a lot of people like to use Cold Hard. I particularly don't. All right, so I'm always going to go auto rifle, and here you see me using the Trials one, but if you have a Uriel's Gift, Scathe, something else, whatever. I always go with scout rifle, and I also go with Merciless, right? If you don't have Merciless, go with some sort of rocket launcher. If you can get, I think is it the Curtain Tail or Curtain Call? Curtain something. That's a pretty good rocket launcher to use also, but just be careful. Don't tube yourself. Now, at the start of the fight, I try to use my energy auto rifle as much as possible to waste some of the adds because I want to save that scout rifle ammo for a couple things. I want to save it for DPS when I run out of power ammo, but also for this part here. This is where the Nameless Midnight or any good scout rifle is going to come in very handy because you got a couple of things you got to deal with. One is while you're doing your call-outs, you're going to have some scions appear that are in their little bubbles, that one right there. You're going to have to shoot them as quick as possible or you're all going to wipe. But what really gets annoying is these scions right here. If you don't waste them as soon as... Are they going to spawn yet? No, hold on. We have to wait for the next call-out. These scions that come out here, all right, you have to kill them as quick as possible. If you don't, and that's why I'm just looking all over the place to see just to make sure all of them are dead, they will shoot a blast at you, and then you will go hopping over your curb here and go flying into his mouth right there. So you don't want that to happen. So I use the Nameless Midnight to waste those things and also to take out the scions. Now, I'm going to use the auto rifle at the end when the skulls all come flying out because, well, it's just easier to take them down. Some of my friends, 1 or 2 of them, were using Cold Hard at that part, so you probably could use that. But again, you know what, guys, let me know in the comment section. I'm not a big fan of Cold Hard. I know it's good. It's good for bosses. It's good. I loved it when I first got it, but I've had too many other things I'd rather infuse than that thing. But, then again, this is more for what I'm saying is, like I've always said in all my videos, for the average folks or people who haven't done the raid yet, you're going to do the raid. The MLG pros, PvE pros, they're probably all going to use Cold Hard, probably the best DPS weapon if everyone's using it. But so here we're using a rally barricade, and I'm using my auto rifle here, and it's weird with the rally barricade. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I always use an auto rifle here. Another good substitute here for an auto rifle is going to be hard light. The first couple of raids I did, I only used hard light for this part because it has so many bullets. It does some decent damage. It's got an element to it, so I would always switch it to whatever element the yellow bars were that were coming out. And it's got a really quick reload when you empty the magazine. Now, if you're on the inside here, and I don't have footage of it, I've only done it once or twice, what I found was actually not scout rifles. For me, I was running double auto rifles. You could run hand cannons. Definitely go with merciless or something that's really high damage to do DPS on good old Emperor Calais there. But you want to make sure that you're using something that's going to be clearing ads, because it does get hairy when we're calling out things from the dimension, and you're going to go smack those scions there. So you're going to deal with a lot of ads. So use something, use auto rifles, use hand cannons. I don't know if I would use scout rifles, to be frank. Scout rifles, in my opinion, are for the people who are getting teleported, because you're going to have to deal with the scions that will explode, the scions that are going to send you flying off the map, and then your auto rifle to take out the skulls. So that's pretty much it for the weapons I like to use. You can see here, I ran out of merciless ammo, so that's where my Nameless Midnight just came in handy. Was using merciless all the time, and I always use my super, or I save my super for the final part there. So last plate, always use my super, whether I'm a Dawnblade or if I'm a Hunter. I actually got Celestial Nighthawk, and man, you do so much damage when you hit him with Celestial Nighthawk. So if you got a couple of Hunters, and they have Celestial Nighthawk, make them use it, because it will waste him. And I'd love using the word waste. Do you guys know what movie that's from? I don't know. If you watch some of my old PvP streams, you'll understand where that's from. It's from an old movie from the 70s. And no, I was not born in the 70s. I'm not that old. Anyway, you know what, guys? Babble mode's engaged. Hashtag made it to the end. And let me know if you found this helpful. And please let me know if you want me to do the guide. I'll just make one video. It'll be a full guide on each encounter and how I would explain it to new folks, not the MLG pros where you gotta one-phase everything. The safest way, get it done. And you know what you might actually have? You might have some fun. That's what it's about. Raids should be fun. They shouldn't be stressful. They shouldn't be frustrating. You want to have some fun. You want to get some loot. And the loot's not so great, to be honest. I mean, I don't really get that many drops in terms of completing the raid. Actually, Trials of Osiris... Oh, did I just say it? Trials of the Nine has been way more fruitful for me in terms of loot. So anyway, that's it, guys. Hashtag made it to the end. Do me a favor. Drop a like at this video only if you see fit. Follow me on the Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream. Usually and always on YouTube. And that is it. I am out of here like Vladimir.